Howdy folks, you're watching Deuce, and today we're going to take a look at a low power variable optic made by Gunnr Optics. I don't know much about this company. They seem to be kind of a new kid on the block as far as firearms optics are concerned. The reason why I wanted to review this optic is because of my experience at the recent GOA convention, and that is the fact that they offer shot glass in their optics. And I had never seen that really until the convention. There were a couple of different high-end optics manufacturers there spinning their wares on the shot glass. Shot glass. It's a company out of Germany and they make super high-end stuff. So let's go ahead and get this big boy out of here there. It is a 36, I think it's a 36 millimeter tube on this thing. That is a massive, massive scope for a low power variable optic. When I say low power variable optic, that now just becomes a name, meaning that it can go all the way down to 1 power. But this bad boy goes all the way up to 10 power. So 1 to 10 power. The very first thing I do when I put a new optic on my rifle is head off to the bench range to dial that sucker in at 50 and then 100 yards. So first of all, I do a 50-yard shot and just get her on paper and get her as close to the bullseye as possible before I reach out to 100 yards. And here is the 3-shot group of me getting that sucker dialed in. The first shot hit, let me get my pointer. The first shot hit up here, and then the 2 shots were very, very close to the bullseye, close enough. I just had some elevation issues, but windage was right on, which is all I need to reach out to 100 yards. Please keep in mind, I am using cheap Winchester white box to do this review and dial this sucker in. Now going forward, will I try this out with my special 3-gun ammo? Of course I will, but due to the hurricane, I don't have a chance to shoot my normal 3-gun competition this month. Then of course, I moved to the 100-yard range. The first shot at 100 yards was pretty high, but that's to be expected. The normal trajectory of 5.56 typically keeps on going up past 50 yards, and this is no different. For the next several rounds, I pretty much danced around the bullseye, which is to be expected because this is not a bench range scope. It's a low power variable optic made for situations that require a low power variable optic. Here's that target close and personal there. I started out up here and just kept on dialing in until I was close to the bullseye. And then for fun, I decided to add my suppressor to the mix just to see how it would change the impact with Winchester white box and how I have this scope dialed in so far. Depending on how Karen-y the Karens are at YouTube this week, this video may or may not be blurred. What I did here was basically keep the same hold right in the bullseye, did not change any of the settings on the scope, and just let her rip. So in the future, if I want to go ahead and just throw my suppressor on there, I can just expect the grouping to be about 1.5 inches low at 100 yards. At this point in time, my life got super busy and this rifle just bounced around behind the seat of my pickup truck until I could finally make it to the still shooting range and really try her out and swing that optic back and forth and get a feel for her. Alrighty folks, we're down at the range again. Now that we have the Gunnr medium power variable optic sighted in at the bench range, we're going to try her out at the steel range, a steel target range, on this beautiful, beautiful East Tennessee day. Yes, my name is Deuce, and I go to the shooting range when there's a deluge from Hurricane Helene. I've been testing out these like half-curved 20-round magazines because 20-rounders is pretty good for YouTube and for me in general, especially for like bench range type situations. You don't always need the full rounds. But we're going to go ahead and stripper clip these in. That new spring's strong in this mag. We're going to be doing exercises going back and forth between 1 power and 10 power. Because that's the way I'm going to be using it in competition. Let's go to the 10 power first, reach out to the 100-yard line there. Nice. And now, let's go to 1 power. Oh, where's it? Oh, I missed that one. Beautiful. This is the point in the video where I go over the good and the bad of this scope. I do not believe that there's such thing as a perfect product. If there is a perfect product, it's too expensive. First of all, the good. The good is that this glass is very, very clear. Now, it is very easy to get away with suboptimal optimal glass. It's very easy to get away with suboptimal glass when you're only going up to a 4 power, such as this Leupold, which Leupold has good glass in it. I'm not going to say otherwise. But this Bushnell, it's pretty clear too, and it doesn't have the greatest glass in the world, but it's only going up to 4 power. This is going to 10 power, and it's easily just as clear as these other options. The turrets are locking. They lock, and then you pull up to adjust them. They're very positive in their clicks. You can hear this. And now I just adjusted my elevation, and I have no idea where I stopped at. And the turrets can be recentered. So once you get this rifle dialed in, you can take off the turret and then recenter it on 0. So then you can dial in your windage and elevation to accommodate your needs at that particular shooting site. The tube is a 34 millimeter, which is now the new upper echelon standard is 34 millimeter. It used to be 1-inch scopes was the standard. This Leupold's a 1-inch scope. Then it moved up to the 30 millimeter, which is this Bushnell here, this Bushnell AR. 34 millimeters is the new hotness for low power variable optic standards. Also on the good column is that 1 power is actually 1 power. Now that sounds weird to someone who's not seen a non-1 power, 1 power scope. This Bushnell is pretty close to 1 power. It's like 1.1 power maybe. If you look through it at 1 power and you compare it with both eyes, there's a little bit of a difference, but not much. Not enough to get you kind of off kilter when you're using it as a red dot. This Leupold, on the other hand, this is probably like 1.5. You can really see quite a bit of distortion when you're trying to shoot with both eyes open. It comes with the included cattail right there, so you can really whip that thing back and forth from 10 power to 1 power and back again, as I showed on the video there. That is a necessity. If you have a low power optic that you don't have that option on, get rid of it, buy something else, or I should show you how to do this little section here because this Leupold scope did not come with this. So you can do that as well, just to get that extra grip and really sling that power back and forth when you need it. It held 0 so far. Now I've not really put it through its gauntlet, through its paces yet. That will be a future video that I compare and contrast a bunch of different low power variable optics, what they're useful for, what they're not useful for, and things of that nature, why I like them for the most part. So we'll go to that on a future video. Basically, all the scope stuff you'd expect the scope to do well, this did well. And now the bad, because you can't have the sweet without the sour. So the bad stuff about this scope, which hopefully Gunnr is watching this and they can make any tweaks to their next generation, because I believe this is their first iteration of a serious big boy scope, and it's pretty dang good for a first attempt. So I'm really excited to see where this company goes with their future optics. The adjustment ring here for power is very stiff. It's way stiffer than my other options here. Now, that being said, it's having to adjust from 1 to 10 power versus 1 to 4 power. Along with that, the throw from 1 to 10 is very long. I mean, basically, it's 180 degrees from one side of the scope ring to the other, versus, if you look at the Leupold here, that's 1 power, that's 4 power. Or did I get that backwards? I got that backwards, but you get the idea. It's like a 45-degree swing there, and that's all it is. But again, you're going from 1 to 10 power versus 1 to 4. Negative thing number 2, the brightness of the illuminated reticle at 1 power is kind of hard to pick up. Even at the brightest setting, it's going to be pretty difficult to use this as a 1 power scope in very, very bright environments. Now, when it was overcast, I had no problem. But if I was in a desert doing a desert brutality event of some sort, that illuminated reticle would be pretty close to useless because it's just too dim to be used in a very bright environment at 1 power. So in that case, I would have to put down a 45-degree angle red dot off to the side somewhere. One last thing about this scope that I thought was, it's very nitpicky and it may not even be a negative, it may just be needing some more adjustment, was the eye box. At the 10 power, when I'm at 10 power, the eye box seems to be very, very small. I was kind of hunting around when I was at the still shooting range. I was kind of hunting around for that eye box at the 10 power, as you probably saw me kind of hunting around a little bit. Plus, the eye box was right about where the bill was on my UT Vols hat. So in the future, I plan to move the scope back just like a 1/4 inch, maybe not even that much, just to move the eye box back a little bit underneath the bill of my hat, and I won't be searching for the eye box nearly as much. Well guys, that is it for me today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. That really helps out the channel. And hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of this, including more videos on low power variable optics. I do plan on making more of a generalized video on these, what they're good at, what they're not good at, why I have so many of these freaking things. I do like them a lot. And of course, if you have any comments, questions, or show ideas, leave that down in the comments down below. I'll try to answer as many of those as possible. And as always, you guys have a great day. See ya.